In this episode, Matt is going to reveal Duracell's new keel design.
I don't believe that there is any perfect keel shape, but I think ours is pretty damn close.
Take the first step in building the new keel. And finally, we're going to totally relax and go see the start of a really cool race here in Port Townsend.
My name is Matt. Follow along as I turn Duracell, the legendary ocean racing sailboat, into a comfortable cruising home.
Finally, it's time we start explaining how we're changing Duracell's keel from what was a high-performance racing keel for its time to be a high-performance cruising keel. When we first learned about and started considering Duracell for this project, it was pretty apparent that the keel that came with the boat was not in usable condition, especially for how we wanted to use the boat. To begin with, it was very long. With a 12-foot overall draft, it would constrain our cruising grounds quite a bit. More importantly, though, it appeared to be far too corroded from sitting out in the rain for 25 years to be in usable condition. In fact, I pulled out the forward keel bolt by hand, by the root, as the root had rotted out of the steel stub. We considered a few options, including repairing the steel section and building a new bottom section that yielded a shorter draft, but determined that the steel stub was just unusable. We also considered removing the steel stub from the boat and just bolting the lead fin onto the boat. This was my idea and was quickly ex-nayed by Evan for a variety of reasons. Evan, the naval architect. So we had to start from scratch. Over the course of these keel building episodes, we'll be throwing a lot of numbers around that will best describe the changes that we're making to the boat. I am not a naval architect or an engineer, but I'm extremely lucky to have one helping me. This keel redesign and build project is as much Evan's as it is mine. And here is Duracell's new keel design in all its glory. So here's a real basic overview of our new keel design. I don't believe that there is any perfect keel shape, but I think ours is pretty damn close. First, we need to take a step back and discuss how a keel on a sailboat actually works. It has essentially two jobs. Wind and waves push on the sails and the rigging and the hull, trying to heel the boat over, and the weight of the boat and the keel attempts to counteract those heeling forces. The keel lowers the center of gravity, making this job of keeping the boat upright easier. This is an extremely simplified explanation, but I'm sure you get it. The keel's other function is to make hydrodynamic lift. We are building a fin keel where the fin section has a symmetrical wing foil shape. Again, the force of the wind will try to push this boat sideways, which is called leeway. As Duracell moves forward through the water, the keel's wing foil shape will resist the wind's effort to push the boat to the lee by making lift, just like an airplane wing. This is how sailboats are able to sail upwind, and when we're sailing off of the wind, the keel will help track the boat, making it easier to keep the boat going in a straight line. I find the whole keel mechanism to be a very clever invention. Sailboat keels come in a million shapes, sizes, and varieties, from the ultra-traditional full keel to the ultra-modern swinging keels with lifting foils as seen on the current IMOCA 60 circumnavigators. Evan and I have been working on the new keel design for more than a year now. It was a slow process that required a lot of steps. I did a weight analysis with a lot of help from local boat builder Paul. We compared Duracell with other similar style yachts. Evan compared and contrasted different shapes and orientations, and slowly we narrowed in on what made everyone happy. So here we are under the boat where the keel will one day be installed. We had three main goals in designing the new keel. First was to make a keel that is very safe, one that will right the boat quickly in the event of a knockdown, and be built extremely sturdy such that we will never have to worry about it falling off if we run into a rock. Second, we wanted really good upwind ability where the boat will sail upwind to the smallest angles that we can practically engineer. This means a larger, deeper keel for better lateral resistance and more righting moment. This versus a lower aspect keel that can fit into shallower anchorages but doesn't have the same upwinding ability. Essentially, I'm willing to sacrifice a shorter draft for better performance in a variety of conditions, in the hopes that we'll sail more and motor less. And lastly, we had to design a keel to match the rest of the boat's characteristics, including the new mast and the hull's heavier displacement. It's hard to overstate how drastically we are changing the boat from its original racing orientation. The old keel was 10 feet long, weighing in at 11,000 pounds, where the overall draft of the boat was about 12 feet, and the light ship displacement was about 29,500 pounds. The new keel will be about 9,000 pounds of lead and another 1,800 pounds of steel, coming out at about 10,800 pounds. And it will be 7 feet long, and so the new draft will be 9 feet. We anticipate the new boat to come in at around 35,000 pounds. We think that this will make for a really stiff and good sailing yacht that will be comfortable offshore. Most importantly, it will be very safe. The steel fin will be built like an airplane wing. It will be made of mostly 1/4 inch A36 mild steel and hollow with an internal structural webbing with ribs and vertical bulkheads. We will utilize the original keel bolt pattern in the hull, but we'll upsize the keel bolts from 1¼ inch to 1½ inch 316 stainless steel. We'll be using all this old lead from the original keel to cast a bulb onto the bottom of the keel. This will be a pretty unique feature of our boat in that there will be no bolts holding the lead to the keel. The bulb will be cast directly onto the fin, making the two parts permanently fixed to each other. We will be making a female mold that will be attached to the fin, and that entire part will be sent to Seattle, where 9,000 pounds of lead will be melted down and poured into the mold. We will be hiring local professionals for most of this keel build, and I will be working alongside them. Yanni will document every step from start to finish.
So it was time to take the first step in building this new keel. Evan designed the steel fin structure. Here you can see all the pieces that make up the steel fin nested onto virtual steel sheets. We sent this cut file to a steel supplier who cut them out. We were not able to film the cutting of our keel parts, but they made a special plaque for us to demonstrate how the machine works, and we got to chat with a couple of the technicians.
Plasma cutting basically is compressed air or gas plus an electrical arc that creates ionized plasma compressed through setups that we change the nozzles, the tips, and everything for whatever size plate we were trying to cut.
We utilize a water table to catch sparks and reduce fumes while cutting.
So our machine here is the Mashitech Platinum Cut model. It is also equipped with a beveling head. We utilize the Hypotherm 400 XD and 260 XD systems to run it, which allows us to cut up to 400 amps. The machine is a 5-axis, allowing us to do bevels, as you can see here in the video. Plasma cutting runs up to 45,000 degrees Fahrenheit, 25,000 degrees Celsius. Our accuracy is up to plus or minus an eighth. We owe all that to our CAD department, who put in correct dimensions in our drawings.
So I'm unloading our first shipment of metal for the keel. Some really big pieces, but this is just the frame, essentially. There's no skins, there's no top flange.
This is just the skins of it, or the frame of it. So these are, for instance, this is the top rib. It's really cool, all very precisely cut. These are cut with a laser CNC machine. Those are cut with a plasma machine. Those are all the vertical pieces. These are the horizontal pieces. But very soon things are gonna get welded together.
As you can see, these are the 3 biggest pieces that Everett Steel cut out for us over in Bellingham. It is the top of the keel and the sides. And the next step in this big project is to bend these pieces into their shape. So the top has to get bent to the shape of the hull, the sides have to get bent into a foil shape. And it's gonna be a really fun project to watch get done, is watching these huge pieces getting bent into their proper shapes. We're at the Point Hudson Marina in Port Townsend, Washington. It's Saturday morning, and today the Washington 360 race is starting. The Northwest Maritime Center puts on this race. This is a really cool race. It starts here in Port Townsend, does 360 miles around the Puget Sound, and finishes back in Port Townsend. It's a really cool race. There's a lot of really cool boats that we're going to check out this morning.
Good to see you guys.
You too.
Yeah, it's gonna be fast.
The big dogs.
Brothers. We're the party in the back.
We're the rail meat.
They're the business.
The Washington 360 and the Race to Alaska are unique in that boats are allowed to use any means necessary to keep the boat moving as long as it is wind or human powered. The Pacific Northwest waters can be very windy, but they can also, just as often, be windless. So the sailors have come up with all kinds of ingenious contraptions to pedal or row their way through the light spots.
We're here with Nick. Nick's a patron. You here checking out the boats?
I'm checking out the boats.
Which one's your favorite?
I am big on any of the monohulls that are ULDBs, go fast.
Oh yeah, totally. The Santa Cruz 27s. And,
Exactly.
Right on.
Exactly.
Joel sighting.
Boats and stuff.
Oh yes.
Boats, boats, boats. This boat, very sharp. I'm not so sure about this.
First real boat ride.
First real boat ride. Look at all these cool boats.
Thanks for watching, you guys. And now for a shameless plea to join our Patreon community.
This keel project is going to be the most expensive part of this entire build. And so if you're interested in joining our Patreon community, it would be a great time to do it, or a one-time donation we would really appreciate. Also, we know you're going to have a million questions about this keel build. Please ask them in the comments. We will try to answer them throughout the course of this keel build process. And we'll see you next week.